while we're going through here, I ultimately have um, two things I want by the end, right? And it can be either or. Either I don't provide any value to you, right? And this is a completely waste of your time. And in that case, I want you to tell me to fuck off and tell me that I don't know what I'm doing, right? Second option, right? If I provide just this completely outstanding amount of value, I want to ask for a testimonial, right? So that I could just get a fair shout out. Because at the point where I'm at in my business, I need more testimonials. So how I handle these calls, I try my hardest to provide so much value to where I can get a good testimonial out of one call. Is that fair? Okay.
Absolutely, 1000%.
Perfect. Now, starting off, I do need to just understand a little bit more about your business as an entirety. So, kind of walk me through. Um, let's start off with revenue. Where are you at currently, revenue wise, and what is your goal?
Yeah. So typically we're around 40 to 60K mark.
Okay.
Last month we actually had a record month. We had 80K in gross. We got about 30,000 of that, around, I'd say give or take around 30K from upsells and extensions from existing clients. So
Okay.
that gives us about 50K from new cash last month. So that's kind of where we're at right now, the ballpark range, I guess.
Okay. So, what's your average order value?
It is just above 3,000. I'd say about 34. The math averages out. We have two offers that we currently mostly go with. We have a 6 month offer at 3,000 for the high ticket coaching, and then we do a 1 year package, 12 months for 4,500. So most of the time we end up going with the 3K, but we do get a few 4,500s in there, so kind of averages a little bit above 3K. Sometimes we have to lower the price just a tad based on the budget of the prospect. So sometimes we'll get them for 2,500. So kind of right around 34, 3,500 ish.
Okay. Uh, so about how many new clients are you getting per month? And then what's the percentage of them that continue their initial 6 month plan?
These are good questions. I'm doing quick math right now.
Because you said new cash is about 50K, and then if average order value for that is
Let's say it's about 10. Like average, like 10. Yeah, 10, anywhere from like 10 to 15, but yeah, closer to probably 10.
okay.
I think it depends. The upsells and extensions, as far as like continuing after they do their initial 6 months or a year and they add on more time, is something we're just kind of getting into, dabbling with. So don't really have amazing statistics for you on that. How many did we upsell? We upsold and extended how many last month?
At least 10. I have a Google Doc on it actually.
And we have 140, around 140 active clients that we've signed before.
Okay. As the business owner, where would you think? What do you think the bottleneck is right now? Would you say you're having trouble attracting people to your offer? Are you having trouble converting? Are you having trouble extending LTV? What is kind of like where? Because ultimately, any bottleneck in a business, except for like legal stuff, boils down to one of those three things, right? So where would you place like the biggest fire in your business right now? And we can kind of try to like reverse engineer that.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be lead quality. So getting the right prospects into the door. We seem to get a fair amount of calls booked, but it seems like the last, like, we go through these rough patches where we have great leads and then we have subpar leads. Like the last 4 or 5 calls that Allie's taken have been people with 500 credit score. Just, it's what it seems like. It's just kind of an iffy lead quality. Nothing's really consistent as far as that goes. As far as like the ads and marketing itself, something we're trying to dial in right now. So I feel like that's really the biggest part. I feel like the DMs we have handled, closing we have handled. It's really just the front end, like getting
Content.
them to the call.
Okay. Are you? We're gonna circle back to this lead quality question here. Are you getting most of your traffic from organic or paid acquisition?
It is paid.
Paid.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, when you say lead quality, so off of what you're saying, you offer some type of financing, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So when you say lead quality, is it just a financial problem that is defining them as bad leads? Okay. How do you filter out your leads?
As far as like booking form and questionnaires and all of that, like
Ye-
qualifying the DMs, all of that part.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't necessarily filter super hard in the DMs. If someone brings up finances or asks about finances, we try to handle that in a bit in the bud in the DMs. We send, like, we have a script that we send if someone's like, I'd love to get on a Zoom call, but I don't have the financial, or like, how much is this going to cost?
Yeah.
So we kind of send that to filter them out. They're either yes or no, and then we move to the call. So if they have questions, we don't like just like, oh, let's get on the call, let's figure it out. Like we try to handle that as best we can and pre-handle that in the DMs. We have a few questions on the booking form itself. It doesn't really go into nitty gritty like finances on the booking form. We more so ask about their career, and then we ask about their spouse, if they are making that decision on their own or if they need their spouse's input. And so that's pretty much the filter that we have right now. We don't really have many detailed questions in the booking form.
Okay. Okay. Now, last question, and before we can start kind of like diving into this a little more, walk me through your customer's journey from not knowing who you exist to giving you money.
Okay, so typically most of our traffic is run through follow me ads
Okay.
right now. So we run the follow me ads. We don't run them through Facebook Ads Manager. We actually boost the posts right now, and that's actually something we're working on looking into more on the marketing side is getting the marketing dialed in to where we can actually run ads through Facebook again. I don't know if you know the algorithm has changed and everything has changed as far as like ads and marketing. So we're trying to tap back into Ads Manager being the primary source of running leads. So I guess that's a long story short for we're boosting posts, follow me, so people follow us. We DM every single follower that follows us. We ask about their fitness, goals, and then they kind of spill, and we start the conversation from there. We try to keep the questions as short as possible, but try to get as much pain as we can out of them in the DMs to try to bring the emotion out to get them into that like state of emotion to where they're ready to actually receive help. So from then on, transition to the call. How detailed do you want me to get?
As detailed as possible, because I need information.
Okay. So we offer the Zoom call. They book in. We screen their answers. We pre-handle spouse. We pre-handle finances if they're not employed or they're a full-time student. Then we typically will I'll send a voice message saying, hey, you're scheduled with Allie. She's my right-hand girl, etc. Just letting them know it's not with me. Before the call, Allie sends a video of herself kind of explaining, hey, I know you're scheduled for a Zoom call at this time. These are basically your pain points. This is why this is important to you. And then she kind of explains like the setting and sets the frame for the call. Make sure you're in a quiet place, not in a car, not working. You have enough time for this. They confirm typically with her and me, usually the day of the call. We try to send these out the day before if possible. If not, sometimes it gets to the day of if we're super swamped, if we have a lot of calls on the day before. So then after we get the confirmation, they show up to the Zoom call. Allie takes care of them, take care of the money, get them onboarded into everything, sign the agreement, coaching platforms all loaded up, onboarding email sent, and then they start, essentially.
Okay. So lead quality issue is tied back to financial reasons, right? How are you pre-handling finances through that DM script?
We typically send a message that's basically like, yeah, solid, or they're a question girl, totally get what you're saying, like get to agreement with them, and then say, first of all, the point of this call is just to see if I can even help in the first place. So it's hard to put a price on anything specifically because I'm not sure exactly the level of support you need. However, most of our clients typically start around 120 a month. So we kind of try to like give that number, and that's like the lowest on a firm that's possible, like as far as financing goes. They either say yes or no, or they have more questions, and then we kind of handle that in the DMs. So yeah, we just don't want people like showing up on the call like, hey, I just flat out can't afford, like I only have $50 to my name type situation. We've been running into that a lot lately, so we started implementing that 120 a month response, and that seems to help a lot with people at least being able to afford that monthly budget, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Okay. Have you ever considered having a low ticket community?
We have talked about it a little bit. We just haven't put anything into motion.
Okay. So here's going to be something I would recommend. When you're on that pre-handling financing phase, I would actually, because you're kind of positioning it for like, I hate to phrase it like this. You're positioning it for poor people, right? It sounds so fucked up, but that's how I say it. Because you're saying that typically our lowest price point is $120, but that's not the price point that you would actually want, right? If I was in your shoes, I would just tell them flat out what it would be in full, right? And then if they object to that, I would funnel them down into a low ticket community or a low ticket product, right? That way, you're not wasting the sales alley's time, right? Because these people that are already okay with that price point, right? Now that's no longer the objection. It's just, is it worth that, right? And then the people that are where price is truly the issue, right? We can still give them revenue, right? Through it might not even have to be a low ticket community. It could be just be some type of low ticket product, right? Because and we would want this to be a vertically scaled business. So right now at the top we have your one-on-one coaching, right? I would create some type of course or course modules where they can enter in and get the help they need at a lower price point, right? And what that does is that, number one, it reduces Allie's time, right? Because she no longer has to deal with people where their main issue is that they just don't have any money in their fucking pocket, right? Now, do I mean like just throw everybody away? Because some people might say that, and in reality, they could go ask mom and dad, or they can go take out some credit lines. But we need a mechanism for being able to filter out these people, still collect cash from them, right? But also not have Allie have to deal with them at the same time. Go ahead, Allie.
So in the DMs, why would we say like 3,000? Like this is $3,000. Can you do that or not? If they have no value of like what's actually included into the program, like shouldn't we? Like what my thought process on that when you said that was like, what if we put into like the booking form a question of have you ever had a coach before or invested into yourself before, and then like different choices, $0 to $1,000, $2,000 to $3,000, $4,000 to $5,000 before, because at that point now we know, like, does that make sense? Like we know that they've invested into themselves before, and if they have, like, what they can and cannot afford. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. The only reason why I said do it in the DMs because you guys are already giving away price in DMs. You're already telling the people that, hey, my lowest entry point is $150. So if you guys are already giving price in DMs, right, might as well give the flat out price, and then if they object to that, then funnel them down. Now, as far as that could work, but you could also have people that are willing to make their initial investment. Like for me, when I first started buying courses, I had never bought a course before, and my first course I bought was $5,000. Right? If I was buying your course and that was part of a process, and I say that I've never invested that amount of money on myself, I would just be taking out your funnel, and you would have never gotten my money. So that's the only hesitation I have against that. Will that work? Maybe, but there's a lot of nuances here, right? So there's a possibility that you filter out people that even though they've never invested in themselves before, they might be willing to invest in themselves now.
Yeah, that makes sense. But so I guess what would be the best way to handle that? Because at the end of the day, like I already know if we tell someone it's $3,000, like if you were your first time investing into a course and someone in the DMs told you this is $5,000, are you going to do that or not?
That's
Like,
literally what happened.
willing to do that or not?
Well, again, the only reason why I say do it in DMs because you guys are already telling people the price in the DMs. You're just doing it at a lower price point. Or am I missing context on how you guys are bringing that price point
That's
on?
completely correct. Like we do say it's like starting at $120 a month. So what would be a different point of view, or what would be like a different aspect that you'd go about that when if they do have that question to where we can make sure like this call at the end of the day is worth our time and that we know they can invest. Like, do we just handle that in discovery at that point on the call, or like how would you go about that?
So here's how, if we go off the idea that you had right here, right? Instead of asking somebody if they've invested in themselves in the past, we just ask them how much they're willing to invest in themselves right now.
So on the booking form,
Yeah.
it'd be like, how much are you willing to invest into yourself?
Exactly.
0 to 500 or 0 to 1,000, 2,000 to X, and then like 4 different choices basically.
Yes.
And then, okay.
And that's how I would solve it. Because if you guys don't want to give out the full like 3,500 on the DMs, right? That would be another solution. That's actually when I'm building out landing pages. I have a type form survey that I use, and then one of the questions is like, how much are you willing to invest in yourself in solving this problem for yourself, right? The only reason why I kind of objected to the other one is because you were asking how much they've invested in the past, and if they say no, it's just like they're immediately taking out your phone, right? But we need to know how much they're willing to invest right now, you know.
I just know like a lot of our people, and at least the types of people we get on the calls, and like how many price objections we get, like that Alec has to handle. But we do get some of them to convert over to being a PIF or like being a like paying customer, right? A lot of them would get scared away by us giving that 3K out in the DM.
That's
like
fair.
They'd be like, "Fuck you!" Like I'm not spending $3,000. Like fuck you. What do you think this is?
That's fair. I feel okay if that's the case. Yeah, like I said, I only said give it out in the DMs because you guys were already bringing out price point of the in the DMs, right? If you don't want to fully just say, hey, it's 3,500 in the DMs, right? Then yeah, on your booking form, I would just ask them, how much are you willing to invest right now for this solution? Right. Of course, we can work on the copy to like frame it properly and make it match the offer, but that's kind of like how I would phrase it.
Yeah, maybe like an option where it's like obviously like the unqualified answer choice is going to be like, I do not physically have any money to invest at this time, because we get that a lot in the DMs. We get that a lot in the DMs, and then so like that's ground zero, and then like different ranges.
And also I would what is your what platform do you use for your survey? What was that?
For financing or for
No, for your booking forms.
Calendly?
Not book. I would recommend. So you have the questions on Calendly itself.
Do you want to just show him the booking form?
Yeah, I got you. We actually have a CRM that was fully built. They built me a website CRM. It's basically like a high level white label.
Yeah.
We need to switch over to that at some point, but it's set up very similar to how our Calendly page looks, like our booking. I'm pulling it up right now. But yeah, it's like same process.
While she's pulling that up, I do have a question, right? Because if they don't have physical cash to invest, right, they'll obviously be like, no, I don't have anything to invest. But then what if they have really good credit?
Give me 1 second.
You're good.
So is it just this page?
Yeah. So we have 2 different links. We have a 3-day This one's open for 3 days. If they say they can't find a time, then we send one with 5 days, so it'd be out through Wednesday. They pick the time, and then this is what it looks like.
Have you guys ever heard of Typeform?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me share my screen, right? Because on Calendly, I haven't. So I use Calendly literally just to book my appointments. I don't ask any questions on Calendly. Do you have a? Is there a logic feature on Calendly to where you can send leads down a different path depending on their responses?
I believe so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Have you used it?
I have not. I have not used it.
Because I didn't even know Calendly had that. Because that sounds like something that you need right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me open this up. Oh, yeah, let me log in real quick. Give me 1 second. Ali, I'm gonna answer your question here in a second. Just give me the opportunity to answer this real quick. Cause okay. Where is this right here? Where's my quiz here? My workspace. Can you guys keep seeing my screen? Okay. So this is a workflow for one of my old clients, Steve Wright. We finished our partnership, so things are a little bit messed up. But I kind of use this as demonstration of what Typeform does, right? So the questions that you ask your customers, I would actually just ask them on Typeform, and then when it comes to the finance question, what you can do is you can use a logic feature to like split paths, and then if somebody doesn't respond favorably, as in their response is they can't afford like the price point that you're at, I would send them into. It depends on how much like optimized you want your funnel to be. I would either send them to a low ticket community or a low ticket product, or I would just go send them to a free platform because they don't qualify, right? That would that should reduce the amount of like price objections because you're asking them what they can afford right here on the survey, right? And the great thing about it is that you can connect this to Calendly. So after they go through the sequence, my water just dropped. After they go through the sequence, they get automatically booked in to your Calendly, and then it's actually integrated with Typeform. So where what you guys use Zoom, it's gonna show up on your Zoom calendar or whatever calendar it's gonna be perfectly integrated. So that's what I would actually recommend. It's it's so easy to do, it's so easy. So I would just I would switch your booking, like the questions that you ask, instead of asking on Type or on Calendly, I would get a Typeform subscription, and then I would ask on here. That way we can split those paths.
Solid.
Now, as far as your question, Ali, I wouldn't. So that's not a question that I would that there's an effective way to to tackle on a booking survey because we want to introduce enough friction to get unserious buyers out of your funnel. We want to introduce qualifiers to get unqualified prospects out of your funnel, right? Now, we don't want to do too much because then that would turn off potential buyers. So the only way you would solve that is if you ask a question in regards to their credit.
Like on the call, like in discovery.
Yeah, not only on discovery, but I think your question was how would you handle that before they hopped on a call, correct? So the only way I can think about doing that is either ask that during the on DMs while you're asking them questions, while you're qualifying them, or ask them that on the survey. But I'm a little bit hesitant on asking that on the survey because while they're answering the survey, they're alone, right? So you have a little bit less control over the narratives that they're seeing in their heads, right? So somebody might see, oh, they're asking about my credit, fuck these guys, and then they walk off. But if that's a question that you ask during DMs, where it's a little bit more intimate and you have the ability to just frame that a little bit better, that's where I would introduce that question. Now, I think that should reduce your the amount of people that hop on your calls and they're just not financially prepared. But I do want to talk about how you're nurturing your leads as well, because I feel like ultimately when I try to sell something, I want to build so much urgency and have a lead so nurtured that they would bother their grandma to give them money. That's how I approach it. Like literally, the client I'm working with, he didn't have any money, not no money in his bank account, and he called three of his exes, right, and he asked his brother for some money so he can gather the money. That's ultimately like my goal, right, and the only way I can think about that is by having them super nurtured. So that's why I kind of want to ask that question: is like, how are we nurturing our leads?
Mostly through content, sometimes through stories. I feel like I don't really have like an amazing way of nurturing them. I actually just invested into a little course that is going to help me improve my content quality
Okay.
as far as like the camera settings and like the backdrop and like looking more professional on camera, because I feel like that's a big piece of it too. Sometimes we do send like for clients that are super 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 booked far out, like 3+ days booked far out, we send them a client interview from someone that successfully entered the program and got results. But that's pretty much the extent. I do have some YouTube videos, but don't really have a massive presence on YouTube. That's something I want to work on as well. So that's kind of like my little backstory on content and stuff.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about your current content strategy.
It's pretty basic. So I'll just I'll use chat for ideas. Sometimes chat writes my scripts. Sometimes I go override chat and just talk my mind on my videos that I post.
Yeah.
I tell it what I'm looking for. Like I want 4 different categories of types of content. Like there's there's like lifestyle, which I don't really necessarily post a lot of. There's like, I don't know, more so talking about results. There's talking about like giving value, trying to give value, and like real actual actionable tips people can take. There's a 4th one. This is just something I've been working on lately, but I just did for this last batch that I sent to my editor. We haven't even posted these pieces yet. So I'm trying to diversify the content a little bit more.
Okay.
It's been like super dry. I feel like the last 3 or 4 months, it's been super like, it's more like hippie woo-woo bullshit type thing. Like if you're on a weight loss journey and you want to feel more comfortable in your own skin, like stuff like that, but it's not necessarily value. So I'm trying to bring more value back in the content.
Okay. Okay. Are you familiar with a marketing term called audience awareness levels?
Like very surface level, I know that there are a few different levels, but as far as like in-depth knowledge, not necessarily.
Okay. I love talking about this when it comes to content. Oh my god, this is if you wanna know what Lionel is like dreams about, and he's just like ecstatic and he doesn't want to wake up. It's what I'm about to do right
Hell yeah.
now. let me load this up on my slow computer. Okay. So you're right. As far as there being 4 content styles, but each of them, it's just there's a little bit more depth when we are creating content. How many organic views would you say you've gotten over the last 30 days?
I'm not sure, to be completely honest. We can pull it up and look if you want me to.
It's
I feel like I don't really get very many likes in my videos, if that answers your question, for the amount of followers we have.
okay. Because I took a look at some of your pieces of content. Is this guy gonna load or what? I'll be talking to myself. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit. I get whenever I get comfortable, I start talking to myself, and it's like people are like, Lionel, are you okay? It's like,
No, this is what we want. We want comfortable. We want comfortable. This is chill. We like chill vibes.
It's just my computer is acting slow. There we go, buddy. You just have to talk to it just a little bit meaner than usual.
There's actually, it looks like we're getting. I'm just scrolling through because you can see the numbers. Some posts, especially the transformation posts, have anywhere between 8 to 10K. Some have 13K. Most of the reels are sitting around 2,000, 3,000 level of views.
Okay. So, let me share this screen real quick. So, this is kind of like what I like to walk people through. There's steps to this, but we're just gonna focus right here, right? First, I'm gonna walk through this and explain what each level means, and then I'm going to connect it to content because I'm about to build a fucking monster content strategy for you, like
A machine.
a machine in real time,
Hell yeah.
right? So I'm sure you've heard of top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel.
I have.
Right.
I've heard of it.
So now, those are kind of groupings of the actual audience awareness levels, which is unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, most aware, and ready to buy. Have you heard of those?
I have.
Perfect.
See, this is where I've heard, but I don't really necessarily know the details between each one. I can use common sense to try to piece them together, but don't really have a working definition, if that makes sense.
So all of these are just labels for what the customer is asking themselves in relation to your product. Because every customer is always constantly asking themselves different questions in relation to your product, right? It's just depending on where they sit on this awareness level, they're asking themselves different questions, right? So when we're looking at unaware, we are targeting the broadest audience. They have no identified problem in regards to your solution. Goal when advertising to this audience is leveraging curiosity to get them asking questions that eventually makes them realize they have a problem, right? So when somebody is unaware, they don't even know they have a problem. So what we have to do is build curiosity. So I like to use 2 examples, one from traditional marketing and then one for info marketing, right? So traditional marketing is something like this. This is why I stopped eating eggs for 4 weeks. What's your next immediate question that you're asking yourself?
Oh, as a viewer? Yeah.
Exactly. Do you see how that opens the door for a marketer to be able to implant whatever marketing thing that they want to do? That's all you're trying to do here when you're targeting an unaware market, right? Is you want to spark that curiosity so you can open up that door. How it looks like in info marketing is stuff like this, right? So I bought my dream car at 23. I bought a $400,000 GT3 RS at 20. Right? I'm sure you guys have seen stuff like this, right? So posts like this make your audience ask themselves how this kid is able to afford this lifestyle, which leads them to realizing they need to lock in because they are poor in comparison, which leads them to starting asking themselves how they can make more money, which becomes their core problem. They don't know how to make enough money to afford this lifestyle. So this right here opens that door of curiosity and makes the unaware market realize that they have a problem, which is that they're not making enough money to live that lifestyle. Now, once they become problem aware, right? Audience is now aware of the problem, but have no solution, right? Goal in advertising is to agitate the problem and point them to a solution, right? So my mom was getting indigestion after eating blah, 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 blah. And it's just regular food, right? So you're going to ask yourself, okay, I have indigestion. His mom has indigestion, and she's just eating regular food, which just opens up more doors for an explanation for the marketer to be able to do, to, again, twist the customer's mind so they can sell them, right?
Curiosity.
Yep. How this looks like in info marketing is, from now, I'm gonna just focus on info marketing from moving forward because I can explain these a little bit better because I actually just study the. It's unhealthy how much I study the info space, right? So explaining the business model that makes me 100K a month at 19, closing $80,000 of SMA clients in 72 hours, right? So posts like this answer the question: how can I make enough money to afford this lifestyle by exposing the business model that allows a creator to have said lifestyle. But it brings up the following question: how can I capitalize on this lifestyle at the same level this creator does? Right? So you started off here where you realized that in comparison to these children, well, I say children, I'm 23. I'm the same age as these guys, right? Are making crazy amounts of money.
Fellow child in the building.
So yeah.
I guess I'm the grandma of the group here.
Hey man, age is nothing but a number. That's how I like to say.
Facts.
It's all about life experiences and wisdom.
Super real.
But so they start asking themselves, why don't I have as much money as these people? And then these people are like, oh, look at the business model that I'm running to do this. And then I was like, oh, how could I do that? Which brings them to solution aware. Right? So at this point in the pyramid, the audience is aware of their problem and your solution. Because remember, these are questions that they're asking themselves in relation to whatever product or service that you're selling, right? But they start actively looking at the solutions to the same problem. Or they start actively looking at all solutions to the same problem. I knew I missed a word there. To stay in the theme of online biz off space, someone at this stage will know they're poor and know that whatever business model that the creator is pushing might be the solution to their problem, right? But they will start looking at all the different business models that will allow them to solve their problem of being poor, right? So creator might be pushing SMMA. Somebody that is solution aware might look at SMMA and then crypto and then drop shipping and then starting a clothing brand and then starting a coaching offer, right? So they start looking at all the solutions to their problem, right? And don't worry, I'm going to tie this back to how you can apply this to your business here when we're done. I have to have context for everything that I'm about to say, right?
So solution aware is, I'm just trying to make sure I have this right. So problem aware, obviously they know they have a problem. They don't necessarily know what's going to solve it. Solution aware is they know that there's solutions out there, but they're still finding the right one for them.
They are aware of your solution. So that's the distinction here. Because remember, these are questions that they are asking themselves in relation to your solution. So a solution aware customer is going to be aware of your solution, but they're going to start looking at other people or other solutions to that problem.
Like looking at options, basically. Like, okay, what are my options here? I need to get research done. That type of thing.
Exactly. Right. Okay. So if we're using the health niche, right, somebody might realize that they don't have the best body, right, and they want to get into bodybuilding, right? But that's a type of solution. They want to build muscle, right? There are many different styles that you build muscle. You can go weightlifting, powerlifting, calisthenics. There's a lot of things you can do to lift weights. A solution aware problem or person, maybe you sell the weightlifting, right? They're gonna like, okay, so you sell weightlifting, but I'm gonna go check out this guy that's selling calisthenics. I'm gonna go check out this guy that's selling this other thing that's gonna help me build muscle, right? So how these people tackle them is beginner level tutorials, right? Beginner level tutorials are what targets this level of awareness. The goal of these tutorials is to frame the creator's solution as the easiest one to get into, simplest to actually run, and the highest probability to succeed. Second and tertiary goals are to reduce risk and build trust. This is also why where you see stronger call to actions, right? The reason why you want beginner level tutorials, right, is because you want to position your solution, or they're trying to position their solution as the one that's going to have the highest probability of success, right? Which when we know when it comes to the info space, we know this is all false. Every business model has difficulties, but you have to position it how you have to position it. So once they successfully do that, they move on to product aware, right? At this point, the audience believes that your solution is the best solution to their problem, but they start to look at all different brands and products that offer that solution. So back to the health niche, right? Maybe, okay, they're like, yes, weightlifting is my go-to. I need to start weightlifting. But they're not ready yet. They're gonna look at your weightlifting offer, they're gonna look at their weightlifting offer, they're gonna look at his weightlifting offer. So they have decided that weightlifting is for them, but they're gonna look at all the weightlifting offers, right? How these people solve them is with trust assets, right? Implementation of trust assets to scale trust. Trust equals case studies, results, testimonials, etc. Because now this is where credibility comes in. This is where you have to show like, hey, I'm the one that's going to get it done for you. You wanna look like Lindsay, you come to me, right? So trust assets is where that's happened. And then once you do that successfully, they are most aware of your product. At this point, the buyer is sold on your product and is looking for the opportunity to give you money. Great offer plus great backend system. That's how you get them to sell, right? The reason why I bring this up, right, is because when I was looking through your content, okay, how we make our content can target different levels of this, right? So you can create content that targets an unaware market. We can create content that targets the solution aware market, right? When I was looking at your content, your content is really positioned from the brief amount of videos, because looking, it was like the first 10 minutes before you guys hopped on, I scrolled through some of your your reels, right? And I looked at some of your YouTube videos, right? So from what I saw, right, your targeting is really on the product and most aware, right? Because you're giving out a lot of value-based content, right? Which is really good. I would just recommend we start implementing pieces of content that sit a little bit higher. And this goes back to what I was telling Ali just a little bit, right? So there's a lot of people say having a micro niche is the best way to go. Yes, it is. It's amazing until you reach the edge of your micro niche. Because same example I gave her. Let's say you have a micro niche of 1,000 people. And because it's a micro niche and you're hyper targeted, 100% of that audience is a potential buyer, right? Now, let's say you have a niche of 100,000 people. It's a little bit more diluted. So only 10% out of that 100,000 is going to be a potential buyer. But that's still the difference, even though a lower percentage by 90%, right, is going to be a buyer. That's still the difference between having 1,000 potential buyers and 10,000 potential buyers, right? So, and the way you do that is by introducing more top of funnel content. I think that's what you're missing in your content strategy, right? So now here's the question is how can you implement top of funnel content into your content ecosystem, right? Because like I said, you hit it right on a dot. You have educational content, you have personal content, and you have so many types of content, but we have to use them effectively. Because these type of content and we can go content, and we can go into formats. Formats are a different story, right? So the educational content that you're making right now is really good for tackling bottom of the funnel customers. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of your videos have call to actions. They do, right? So it's really good for tackling product aware and most aware customers, right? We need to introduce some content that tackles the middle of the funnel, right? And we definitely need to introduce some content or a lot of content that tackles the unaware market. Now, here's the caveat here, because I tell people this, and then they go make just random content. No, it still has to be in relation to your niche. The only difference is maybe instead of the hook being towards just nurses, right? Maybe it's towards people in the medical field. Maybe it's towards people that are suffering with weight loss in general, right? So that's the way you can change the hook to broaden the audience, right? But you can also change the format, right? So maybe instead of, like I said, educational videos good for product aware and most aware, right? Not as good for attracting unaware people because they don't even know they have a problem. So you're trying to give them solutions to a problem they don't even know they have, right? So a great way to target unaware people is by storytelling, right? So introduce some storytelling formats to where, hey, this was my name is Lindsay. This is my time as a nurse, and during a nurse, I dealt with this, and that, and just get people to know more of your story, right? Because that, if done properly, will get more views. And even though we're not chasing views, right, they're still necessary to scale. Because if nobody watches, nobody buys. It's just getting the right views, if I'm explaining that properly, right?
This is awesome. Like, this is starting to click for me because, long story short, also, I worked with a mentor that had a marketing team. They started running my ads towards the very end of my time with that mentor. They actually introduced like a top of funnel ad that was a free workout guide, protein guide. It was like, nurses working 12-hour shifts. Here's a protein guide. Comment the word plan for this. So he was building this ecosystem for me. I didn't understand this at the time. He was building this ecosystem, and now that makes sense that was the top of funnel in marketing terms, like actual running ads, like top of funnel ads instead of like organic.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not storytelling, more so like, hey, nurses,
yeah,
follow me. Here's the thing. You know you want to work on fitness. Here's the thing.
It's marketing is so amazing. Like, I'm not a paid acquisition guy, not yet, right? Because my thing is, I want to master, like truly master, like organic acquisition. That's why I do these calls for free, right? Because I'm telling you, I gain more out of this than you do. Because I get to understand nuance, and I get to infiltrate people's businesses for fun, and they let me do it, and I get to gain. Like, I love doing this. This is like I told you, this is my heaven right now, right? So you're absolutely that's ultimately how you scale ads, right? Because I understand a little bit of the paid side when it comes to marketing. So how you scale ads is you start at the bottom of the funnel, but as that market gets saturated, you have to increase your budget, one, and then you also have to create new creatives that target a wider audience, because it's the same thing. Yes, your ROAS will go down, but it's in relation to a much larger audience. That's why when people just sit here and, oh, my ROAS is blank, 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 it's like, well, where are you at in as far as scale? Because if you have a great ROAS and your all your ads are targeted towards the bottom of your funnel, it's like, duh. Like that's like me saying, oh yeah, I'm the best basketball player. I beat a couple of elementary kids. Like that's But when you tell me you have a ridiculous ROAS, and I see that your ads are targeting the unaware market, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's LeBron. So your mentor, Absolutely right. That's literally how that breaks down. Now, the advanced version of this, and I'll show you, right? Because like I said, I don't know if I get excited about this. I kind of get nerdy about this stuff.
I love it. Nerd out. Nerd away.
Where's Bryce? Let's go. So I like using these people as examples because they are just okay. We're gonna pull up that, and then we're also going to pull up here, and so the high level of this, which is ultimately like, if you want to know just like an intrusive game plan for me, this is where I'm trying to get to, right? So when you do this effectively, you can actually use individual platforms to target individual levels of awareness. So let me present window. So we look at somebody like Brez Scales. I do not know if you guys are aware, right? But he's somebody that's killing the info game right now. And he's 20, which is, all right, he just turned 21. Oh my God, brother, right? So what he does is that each platform is specifically for, let me just show you, right? So when we look, he sells like an info coaching product, right? He teaches people how to scale brands through paid acquisition, right? When we look at his reels, no educational content at all. All he's doing is top of funnel content to attract the audience. That's it. Now, where he does is he brings them to his YouTube channel, right? So this is this is where they get nurtured. Because YouTube is fundamentally way better at nurturing people than Instagram. Because nurturing takes time. You watch one YouTube video, it's like 10 minutes, right? And your average reel is like 30 seconds to a minute. It would take 10 to 20 reels to equate to one YouTube video. But here's the thing about YouTube. If your YouTube video is good enough, they might just binge watch 5 YouTube videos. YouTube is such a powerful platform for lead nurturing, right? But it goes further than that. What am I? Oh yeah, this video. What is this? What is this? Right? You can see how much of a nerd I am, because the last YouTube video I was watching was about using ClickFunnels as a CRM. Oh my, that's actually embarrassing. Wow. Okay.
So nerdy.
Oh wow.
You should be so embarrassed. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's horrible. So this channel is specifically just to nurture people in the middle of his funnel, right? So going back to here, right? Come on, though. So Instagram is only for his unaware market, because Instagram, great for sparking curiosity. Then he sends them to his YouTube channel, first one, for problem and solution aware, where he's just so showing off the lifestyle and then talking about the business model. Like you can see the connection to exactly what I showed you guys in that framework. But now, second channel. If we go ROAS price, right? This is where he does all his education on a secondary channel, right? And this is where he's probably, not even probably, this is where he gets the most of his conversion. So if we look at his customer journey, and you can see its relation to the audience size of the YouTube channel and the average views. Massive on here. Crazy massive. Let's duplicate this so we can actually just have it side by side. Taking forever.
was my computer earlier.
Man, they say AI is about to take over. I believe it, but I think we have a little bit more time than they're telling us. We might, instead of having 2 years, we might have like 5, if we're being honest.
We got time.
Yeah, we got some time.
By
Right.
the time you're my age,
Oh yeah, we're cooked. We're
mhm,
gone.
we're good.
All right,
Major cooked.
we're gone. Right. Because I genuinely believe that AI is going to take over everything within the next 4 or 5 years. Like, I actually believe that. So, oh no, I don't even want to think about that. That's actually no. I'm scared of AI. I'll be honest. You want to know something? Yeah. You want to know something? If you want to know what I'm scared of, I'm scared of AI.
Yeah, I'm like, is it gonna replace my business? Is what I'm most scared about.
It probably will, man. It probably will. It's gonna replace all of our businesses. What I we're getting off topic. Like, oh, I could talk. Yeah, no, AI is probably gonna replace everything. Right. So if we look at his audience size on here, almost 1 million. Then we go on to this one, 330,000, and then we go on to this one, 64,000. Right. But they effectively do what they're supposed to do. He's not trying to sell or teach on the platform that's made to just make people aware of his existence. Because here's the other thing, right? He hires clip farmers, and he has like 100 and pretty much clip farmers that just post his clips. This goes to how it can be cycled together, right? Then everybody gets funneled onto here, where he just sells the dream even more, targeting that middle of the funnel, and then they get funneled down here, right, where he actually provides value and gets conversion, right? Is this the play that I recommend you run? No. What would work for you? This would be such an easy move to do. What would work for you is that you go just a little bit. Oh, call ends in 2 minutes. I did not know we had a. Maybe I need to pay for Zoom.
That's why I pay for Zoom.
I did not know that because I
hate getting cut off.
Okay, but I'll just create another meeting after this, and then like right after this, and then we can continue. But I would start off with introducing more. Yeah, I'm just gonna pay for that because that's actually, you know, I haven't ran into that issue. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna stop the meeting and then set a new one, okay? Because we're kind of like at a transition point here, where we left off. How we would apply this to you is I would say, number one, introduce those a content style that would capture a little bit larger of an audience, right? And the caveat here is we still want to be close to your niche, right? We don't want to go too wide. And what I would actually do is still educate through what's it called? Through Instagram. I would let me ask you this, right? How likely would you say that your customers would be willing to kind of like tell their transformation story, like for a video? Are you guys already doing that?
Yeah, we have some. Yeah, we have some short form, like super short videos, or like a minute, like a selfie video of them doing testimonial. We have some interviews that are longer that are on YouTube, like 10, 15 minutes type thing. We have some Trustpilot reviews, but it's harder to get them to do the video, it seems like the actual selfie video.
Why would you say
They'll
that?
write the review all day. They just don't, I guess, don't want to show their face as well, but we do have people that are willing to.
Are you incentivizing them to show their to do the video, or are you incentivizing them or giving them an option to where they can do the video but kind of like have their face blurred out a little bit? Because they're so because here's what I'm saying. I'm thinking, right? So yes, we introduced top of funnel, right? Yes, we introduced more content formats. Because I would also, that's another conversation I kind of wanted to have, is like expanding the content arsenal, right? Intrinsically, we would want to have at least 5 different formats that do different things, right? But I would say definitely start posting longer form educational content more often on YouTube, right? Then I would start posting instead of just testimonials where they're like, "Oh yeah, Lindsay was great." It's like no, right? You have them introduce themselves, right? Tell them where like they go in depth about where they were at when they were beginning, right? And then like this is literally the hook, right? Oh, hey, my name is blah blah blah. I was this and that. I was struggling with this and that. Then I met Lindsay, and then you talk about the emotions, right? Of course, like, at the end of the day, it's just getting people emotionally engaged, right? So you talk about the emotions, and then after they're done giving the testimonial, you tell them like, hey, this is how I did that for her or him. I don't. Most of your marketing is towards women, so I didn't know if we had.
Yeah, we only do ladies. Like, we
That's
only
what I
help ladies.
thought. That's what I thought. I just
Yeah.
wanted to be a little bit careful. But then you're like, hey, this is how I did that for her, right? And you literally break down everything, and you give out so much value. And then at the end, it's like, hey, you can try this on your own, or you can just have me do it. And then that's your call to action, right? And then well, what the customer journey would look like is that you're attracting more. Yes, the audience is going to be broader, right? So you're attracting a broader audience, right? But you're funneling them down into a nurturing platform, right? And then your CTA, and then would be, and then you're telling them a story, right? Because people buy way more off a story than, oh yeah, I exist, buy my stuff, right? So that's why I want to start with organic marketing. It's like if I get to where I could tell crazy stories through organic, paid is going to be like such a cakewalk. But that's kind of that's like the long term goal here. But tell the story of the transformation instead of just saying that the transformation happened. Then tell your new audience, hey, this is how I did this for her. And then your call to action, right, is like, hey, I can do this for you too. And that's literally that would be the easiest thing, right? Now, are any of your sessions like in person or is it only like virtual?
It's only online.
How does that look like? Like
as far as the back end?
not necessarily just the back end, like so it's a course they go through, right? What does the one-on-one like calls look like?
Oh, so the course is just a piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
That's just something they have access to. Most of the clients don't even honestly look at it. But I
Okay.
do have one built out, like we were talking about low ticket. I have one built out that they get access to in the program already. Basically talks them through how to do stuff start to finish. But most of the coaching, we have a coaching platform that they do their check-ins with. They have their meal plan and workout plans there. They schedule calls with their coach weekly or as needed whenever, and they hop on the calls. Some do their check-ins like that. Some do we send voice messages to because they're so busy they can't schedule the call.
Yeah.
So most of the communication's on Discord, just between the coach and the client right now. They can message any time of the day if they want to.
What platform do you use to host the coaching?
We're actually moving to Trainerize. We've been using Kahunas, which is a cheaper system, entry level. It had some issues, bugs with the system. So we're moving to Trainerize. We're going to have a smoother platform there.
Okay.
How would you recommend, I know you said we were talking about the CTA for those testimonials, they tell their story and then this is how I got them there. CTA is I can do this for you. Do you personally like comments or DMs as a call to action? Comment the word ready or DM me the word ready. What do you see as far as drop off? I know more people are willing to comment than they are to DM. What do you recommend?
So that applies if that's a short form content. So when I was talking about that format, I was thinking more about YouTube
Oh, okay.
because it allows you to go in depth, right?
Gotcha.
So I would like I said, Instagram is the best attraction mechanism for just top of funnel content, right? But you can also run a very effective business off of just Instagram and just have everything hosted, all three levels on Instagram as well, right? So all I would do for your Instagram experiment with more content formats, uh, and work on creating more top of funnel unaware market. And this is literally as easy as just telling your story and your experience, as because you are the avatar. You're a successful version of your avatar, right? So you have the story, your knowledge to just be able to do that and attract the following, right? Then I would actually reduce the amount of CTAs, right? Actually, that's a core part of your business. So I actually wouldn't do that because that would fuck up your business. I was just, wait a second. No, that's a core.
You're like, hold on, never mind.
Well, I was like, yeah, hold on. Let's slow down, like, yeah. This is a core part of her business. Do not recommend her to do anything else. Cut revenue like 50%. Uh, I would. So I don't see that you have a link in your bio. I did not see one, right? So I would make the link in the bio to a YouTube video, right?
Okay.
Right. But the YouTube video, I would say it would be the YouTube video.
Like her story, like a testimonial, or like her story, and then like because you lost the 40 to 50 pounds, so you could technically like testimonial yourself, but like also tie it into your story.
Actually, that's a great idea. So I would start off with making a your story video where you talk about where you were at in the beginning and what you did. And when I say what you, like, literally break it down to such a microscopic level to where they can just do it from the video, right? And then your call to action is like, hey, I want to do this for you. And then you have the link to I don't think I saw a landing page for you to either your Calendly, or if you want to do the Typeform survey like I mentioned before, then have the link there, and then boom. Now they enter your funnel just a little bit, not even a little bit, a lot more nurtured, right? That's how I would implement that, right? Because YouTube, Instagram is great, but YouTube is so much better for nurturing things. It is so much better. That's like there's levels to it. I'm trying to master the little Instagram game, you know what I'm saying? And then going hard on YouTube. Once I get good at YouTube, going hard on paid acquisition, and then I'm a billionaire. It's so easy. I don't know why everybody doesn't do it, you know?
Yeah.
Such a cakewalk. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's literally what I would do, actually.
I'm getting the studio set up this weekend for content. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Now, do you know how to find and experiment with formats? Because I can also go into that.
What kind of, like, what are we talking?
Okay, I love asking questions.
Like, that means I have no idea.
Oh
Probably.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. We're gonna have fun. Part 2 of Lionel just going completely.
Nerd out session.
Yeah,
Part 2.
Lionel nerd out session part 2.
Let's do it. I'm here for it.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you how I created my my content strategy, and then actually, oh brother,
Oh, brother.
go full window. There we go.
Well, your organic is sure working.
I do okay. I've only been posting for a little bit under 4 weeks, so I'm so hesitant to give myself any type of anything. It's like
Well,
it's
this
such.
girl found you that way.
Hey, I am very grateful for the things I've been able to do in this short time frame.
She was like, yo, Lindsay, I have someone you need to talk to.
Allie, did you really say that about me? Wow, wow.
Are you touched?
I am actually. I am. I love that. That's actually what I love doing. It's like, that's my goal. Like anytime I make a new video, it's like I want to make this so valuable to where it's like somebody is just gonna their mind's gonna be blown. Like that's how I approach everything I do. But so first thing I did when I wanted to orchestrate my content strategy is I made a list of 45 of my potential what's it called? My potential competition, right? And because I didn't know how to properly enter the market, after I made this list, because it's just a cycle of just data aggregation and then tweaking the formula, right? I listed out their customer journey, right? These two fields are empty because I don't know what their monetization model is. I don't have access to that data. I don't know what their sales calls look like, right? Don't have access to their call recordings, right? But I can figure out what their landing page, middle of funnel content, which is YouTube, and top of funnel content, which is Instagram, right? So what I did is I went through and I analyzed every single one of their IGs, and these are the steps that I don't know if you're the content strategist for your business or if you have a content strategist. Literally, just tell them to do this, right?
I do everything myself.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's why it's so unstructured.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So we list out every single one of the Instagram accounts that show signs of life. And what I mean by that is that where I feel like they are effectively attracting business through their Instagrams. And what I do is I place little asterisks on different, on the ones where I feel like they need the most attention. Right? So 1 star, like, you need a little bit more attention than a no star guy, but you're not LeBron. Right? If we go 2 stars, yeah, okay, you're okay. 3 stars, oh yeah, you know what you're doing, right? And then what I do is I look for outliers. So whenever you post content on any organic media, you're going to have content that just vastly outperforms everything else that you did for no apparent reason. But because it's powered by a machine that is so much smarter than I am, right? There's a reason behind it. I just don't understand. So what I do is I sit here and I analyze every single piece of outlier content, right? So these are the questions I ask myself. Outlier score. Blank X the average views from posts using the same format at the same time. The reason why I say same format at the same time is because different formats will have a different average views, right? So a super educational format will have less views than a super entertaining format. And then at the same time is in there also because creators fluctuate. Somebody might be hot one month, let their foot off the gas pedal, and then nobody cares about them. It's a brutal world out here. Right? Then we have awareness level. What awareness level is this piece of content targeting? This goes back into Instagram is good for top of funnel marketing, but you can also use it to cover the whole entire awareness period, right? Then I write down the hook, right? Then I write down the keywords. Now, when people hear keywords, they think of like some SEO. No, that's not a keyword. That is not a keyword. That's just machine algorithm stuff that doesn't really matter. When I say keywords, it's words or strings of words that induce emotional responses within your ICP. That is literally such a powerful thing to do. Because if you're looking at all your competitors and you're noticing what your outliers are, what their outliers are, and you're able to aggregate, because like I said before, it is just data aggregation and then tweaking. If you're able to compile such a vast majority of words that you know will induce an emotional reaction out of your ICP, you are able to craft such powerful machines of just mental just gymnastics. You're able to get people to do what you want. If you know what words trigger them, right? Key visuals, right? Same thing, but visually. Key sounds, same thing, but auditorily. And purple cow. Purple cow just means anything that's not typical. Because formats are very repetitive, right? You'll see that a lot of Instagram is just the same formats, just tweaked just a little bit, right? So I start analyzing and analyzing, and I just analyze. And I sit here and I find an outlier, right? And then when I think I have a good outlier, I literally just copy them. So I copy them, I copy the hook, I copy the format, I copy the angle, I copy the sounds. The reason why I literally just copy them is because I always approach everything from a point of ignorance. And because I tell myself this, because I believe that I am unintelligent in whatever I am pursuing, I cannot afford new ideas. New ideas to me are way too expensive. The most I can afford is to tweak an idea. So I literally just copy them, but I introduce just my topic, right, in my branding. That's it. And what I do is I find and I search for new formats, new hooks, and new things that I can test, right? And then when I eventually sometimes I find winning tests. And what winning tests are tests that performed pretty good multiple times, right? So now I have a winning format that I can repeat. Like this right here, I know it's a winning format. So if you want to kind of like look at how I break down the keywords, because that's also a key point. I literally just do this. I just heat map it, right? Words or string of words I use mostly with the blah blah blah. So you probably know Sam Millsap. Somebody in my space knows Sam Millsap. That's a red hot. Might even know Vincent, another person, and John Mark's red. So I just heat map it. But then I just keep track of winning formats and winning hooks. And then what I ultimately do is I build. Remember, I've only been doing this for 4 weeks, so there's not a lot. There's a lot of data aggregation that's been going on, but tests take time. But over like 8 months, a year, there's gonna be a list of just straight sauce that I come in here and I just copy. Right? That's how I know I will never run out of ideas, because I'm gonna have like a list of just all the winning formats, all the winning hooks, all the winning words, all the winning. Not even show you, right? Where is my? I gotta close this real quick because we might show some things that have to do with my clients, and we do not want to be doing that. We're gonna get sued. Okay, there we go.
Super real.
Not a lot of things I'm afraid of. Government is at the top of that list, and at the top of that list is the IRS. I do not play with the IRS. Them guys, they're scared.
I feel that. Trust me.
They are scared. If the IRS wants you gone, I'm sorry, you're done.
Yeah, you're cooked.
You're cooked.
Major cooked.
Right. So as you can see, I literally just come in here and I link the video that I'm stealing from. I write the script and then I change my body, right, to match what I want to teach. And then I test hooks. And then I post all three. So I make 3 videos. For every one video you see on my page, I made 3 of them. And I chuck all 3 into the amazing invention that is trial reels. And whichever one performs the best, that's the one that gets shown to everybody. And I'll show you how powerful this is, right? So if we go to my profile, so this video right here that has 22,000 organic views, right? I'll tell you, I posted this video 3 times, and I only changed the words that are up here. That's all I changed. Nothing else changed. Nothing else is different. One of them is this, of course. The other one is this, but in yellow text. And one of them doesn't have any words at the top at all. The difference between the 3 is ridiculous. Oh, brother.
Well, you got a free Bitcoin.
Hey, I might need it because the IRS is going crazy. No, it's fine. But the difference in viewership, so this one, 22,000 views. Second place has 5,000. And third place has like 2. So this is why I say testing is so important, even if it's just the smallest thing. Like also this video right here. If we go all the way down, one of my first videos should just pop off for some random reason. I don't know. Actually, I didn't know why. It's because I stole it. Because I don't think. I just innovate. Right? So, 116,000 views. Right? This is, what I did here is I tested the hook. Like the words I was saying instead of just the written hook. So I tested the verbal hook. One of them is currently, let me just pull it up. So I just make sure I'm not spinning out some numbers. Oh yeah, this one's even worse. So, one of them has, of course, 122,000 views. Second place has 3,000 views. Third place has 900.
Oh, wow.
So it is so worth your time to test. But it has to be informed guesses. Right? And the reason why I know how to make informed guesses is because I just consistently just aggregate data. And that's kind of what I wanted to like bring up. It's like, yeah, to create this, this is where the hard work comes in. Right? Because it's not just about volume. Because actually, that brings up a good point. How many times are you posting per day?
Like reels? Or just stories?
Both.
I'd say we post like, I'm pulling up my Instagram right now. Story-wise, I try to post one like series of me talking per day, which is could be 1 to 3 videos, could be 1 to 4 videos, depending on how long the topic is. My VA posts like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 other just different types of stories. Okay. And then as far as like the content itself, it looks like it's every day we're posting one piece.
Okay.
So not very much.
How easy would it be for you to post 3 times per day? So you still make one piece of content, but you just change either the verbal hook or the auditory hook or the text hook and you make just experiments. You have access to trial reels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How easy would it be for you to do that?
I mean, I would just have to tell my editor to, hey, like, I want different versions of this video with the text edited, or here, splice this hook onto this video. Like, let's make different versions. And then I have to teach the VA, which is pretty easy, how to do trial reels.
So automatically, that's going to be the biggest thing you can do right now. Is just start testing more. So now that we're done with kind of like, because I think we touched all bases here. Are there any other like specific things you would like for me to tackle on right here? Because I'm about to start like building like actual actionable steps. So this wasn't just like a college lesson where I just spewed off a whole bunch of information and it's like, oh yeah, cool, but how does this actually help me? Right. I'm literally about to build like, hey, do this, and that. Go, you do this, and then tell me how that works. Right. So before we do that, is there anything else that you would like for me to just tackle?
Allie, do you have anything? I don't think so either.
Perfect. Okay. So we're going to open up. See, when I'm recording and I'm on call at the same time, my computer gets so slow. It's embarrassing. This is the worst. Okay. So numbered list. First thing I would do is switch your survey to typeform. Right? That way we can use the logic feature to send leads down different paths. Right? Two, I would add the question.
Do you mind if I ask a question really quick?
Of course.
So we talked about like low ticket offers, right? Like sending them down that phone. So what is like? Do you have an idea of like a price point for that type of thing for these people that are like can't afford like the full package of coaching, but maybe I could send them through the course that I built by itself? Like, what do you think as far as like price points?
See, we think alike, right? Because I was literally just gonna tell you that on that lower path, you just release the course that's already built out. It depends on the mechanisms that are within that course. Because if it's just the course itself, because there's a difference by if it's a course itself and if it's course plus community. So that's the first decision that we need to make. Is it going to be just the course itself, or is it going to be course plus community?
Got you. Like a free community or like part of the low ticket community itself, like creating that.
Because really the question is, do you want to deal with churn or not? That's kind of like the question. Is churn something that you want to deal with, or do you just...
Not really.
Not really? So then it's just going to be the course by itself. How long is the course?
I mean, it's got a lot of value. It's just straight up videos of me teaching. It's got like probably over 10 hours of content.
Wow.
Like, it's long as heck. It's not even the most professional. Like, this is back when I first started coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I put this together like 5 years ago. It's like low quality video, me just giving the meat and potatoes in video form to them. So it's literally just
Talk to me about the expenses of your business, because I want to see if we can construct this to where it covers your expenses.
well, obviously people are
Okay.
the biggest expense. I'd say like if we I'm trying to think of margins right now. Probably 40 to 50% take home.
Okay. And that's off of, you said 40 to 60 is what you're averaging, and you're keeping 40 to 50% of that. So let's say low end 40. Can go to math after that. 16. Oh, okay. Okay, here's another question. How many applications are you actually getting on a monthly basis?
We can pull it up. I should have had this pulled up.
Because if we can find out how many applications we're getting versus how many are we can predict that will be going down the lower path, we can kind of try to reverse and engineer a price point that might be able to cover some of your expenses, right? And then we can see if we can, there's some marketing woo-ha we can do here to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Because
Last month we had 90 calls booked.
90 calls. So that's 90 calls, but how many people are applying?
That's pretty, like, if they, basically, that's who makes it through to the end of the application. We don't really have a way to track, like, we have a way to track how many people we send it to, which we sent the call link to 194 people, and we got 90 booked in.
Okay.
That actually completed the form and, like, got a slot booked in.
Okay, another thing that you're gonna love about Typeform is gonna tell you how many people start the survey, and most importantly, where drop off is. So you're gonna love that, right? So 90 calls, and you close 10 new customers last month, which means 80 people dropped off. Would
Maybe
you?
they either they're disqualified, they no-show.
We actually closed 15 last month.
15. Okay.
And we had 9. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. We had 6 deposits, MRRs.
Okay.
So people that weren't PIFs.
Okay.
So we actually really closed 21.
So 21.
But we didn't get PIFs from the 6 of them. They just put a deposit down or monthly recurring because they didn't get approved for financing.
Okay. So 15 pips. 6 MRR. How many calls booked? So that changes it from 80 to, what is that? 90 minus 21. So 69 left. So we have 69 people dropped off for some reason, right? How many of those people would you say dropped off for the financial problem that we're solving right here?
Well, to put it into perspective, my close rate last month was a 62%.
62%.
She doesn't pitch if they're not financially qualified or if they're not committed to change. But most of the time, it's they're not financially qualified. Why she doesn't pitch? Probably like 2/3 of the time, right? Versus them not committing to change. Or they just didn't make it to the Zoom call. They canceled or rescheduled or no-showed.
There we go. Because I did the math. I'm like, wait, something's not adding up. Because 62% of 90 is 56%. It's 56. But 69 dropped off. I forgot. No shows or canceled. Okay. There we go.
We had 9 reschedules.
Okay.
14 cancellations. or I'm sorry, 14 no-shows, and 26 cancels, which leaves her with 39 calls taken.
See, that changes everything. 39 calls actually taken. Right? So 90 people show up, book a call, but essentially 40 people drop off. That means your show rate, wait a second, your show rate is about 44%. What are you doing between somebody booking a call and them showing up on call?
I think where we lose a lot of people is one is like our extended link. So that our extended link is 5 days. So I think when we have people who can't find a time within the 2 or 3 day link, and they say, oh, like, I'm working all these days, that doesn't work. We have to send them the extended link, and that's where a lot of them fall off. B, we work with women in the healthcare industry, and sometimes they're on call.
My ex was a nurse, so
So that's factoring to rescheduling.
yeah.
Now rescheduling is us trying to figure out a time. Now that's a lot of back and forth. Now that's them like just saying F it.
Yeah, we try to, if they use that extended link to where they can't book within the 3 days, we try, and I say try because this is something we're trying to work on with the setter, is we try to keep them in communication. Like, my plan is to send the client interview for them to watch, then to follow up a day later, hey, what were your thoughts on the video? Just to keep them in communication, like small talk until the meeting. But if they book within 3 days, it's pretty much like until I send the voice message that they're not in communication with us.
Okay, so you also have a show problem, right? I'm going to recommend you look into somebody, and because I want to buy this guy's course. So what I'm going to share with you right now is from incomplete data because I haven't bought his course to have the full picture. That's why I'm saying you should definitely look up to this guy or look at this guy. Plus he's a paid acquisition guy, so he's just a little bit further down the line for me. But this guy, Jeremy Haynes. So he has.
Oh my gosh! Shut up.
Are you serious? You know him?
Shut up. We were looking at him earlier.
Oh my god. Okay. Then I don't have to explain too much. So.
Well, I'm not super knowledgeable about him. We actually just found him today. Her and I were looking at him, and I watched a YouTube video talking about the algorithm change 2 weeks ago that he posted, and so we're just like, I looked into his inner circle, went to his website, started kind of peeking through. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
So Jeremy Haynes is legit, right? So one of the things he talks about is a post-call booking sequence, which he calls the hammer them strategy, which is basically where you spam somebody with a whole bunch of information. Here's where the nuance is, right? I can say do that, but it's not about doing something. It's about how it's done. Because there are specific questions that your customer asks themselves that they need answered after booking a call. So instead of like having these outreach where you're trying to stay in communication and have some small talk, no, you just send them value to where they have a reason to stay in communication with you because you're answering the question that they're asking them. Because here's the thing: when somebody books a call and is about to buy something, they're panicking because they don't want to fucking give you money. So they're trying to find any excuse to not have to give you money, which leads them to having a whole bunch of questions that they're either going to have answered by their own research, or you have no control, or you can just spam them with information. And the nuance is I know what to do, but I don't know the nuance of each individual thing, which is why I say I need to buy his course, right? So I would do some research on that because that's something that I think you need implemented. Because when we're looking at a 44 show rate, yeah, that actually yeah, that needs to be fixed. And I don't think that would be a very effective way to do that. But I'm hesitant to just go in on it because that is not my expertise. Because like I said, he's a paid acquisition guy, and plus you're dealing with a lot of cold traffic, which is completely different than a warm traffic person.
Yeah. The trust is nowhere near organic.
Yeah, which is
warm client.
Cold traffic is a beast, and I can't even sit here and act like I am a cold traffic expert. I am Mr. Warm for right now, and then I might dip my toe. I'm not. I'm gonna dip my toe in the cold plunge, but I'm staying in my little hot tub right now. I'm a little bit more, not even comfortable. I'm still learning how to swim over here. So that kind of put me on a tangent because when I saw that, it's like, oh wow, yeah, that needs to. Okay, what were we trying to figure out? Oh yeah, pricing for a low-tick community. Wow, we went on a tangent. Oh wow, pricing for a low-tick community. So 39 calls taken, right? Oh. Recatch one. 39 taken. So 51 to drop off. How was those 51 to drop off? Yeah, 39 that you take. You have, what was your closing percentage again? 62%?
Yeah.
Okay, 62%, which means you're closing 24, which gets a little bit closer. So 39 minus 24 equals so you have about 15. What was that? 15 to.
I'm gonna go run to the restroom really quick. I have to pee. Okay. I'll be right back.
Fire. Ooh wee. So, give me 1 second, because I'm actually going to just buy the membership for Google Meets because it's about to run out in 15 minutes, and I did not know that was a thing. Because, oh brother, that's actually annoying. Oh. How long have you been a sales rep for?
You want to take a guess?
Try to close me. I could tell a little some, but based on how you try to close me. Let's say I am one of your clients, and I give you, I gotta go talk to my husband.
You want to go talk to your husband?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, I'm married. At the end of the day, I don't want to put anyone on the couch here, so that's definitely not my goal. But I guess that aside, everything that we kind of went over today, do you have like full confidence that this is something that would actually like even work for you? Like, does this all make sense? Like, where are you at with like that side of things?
Yeah, I know you did a really good job presenting everything. I know this would work, but that's just I live in a household. It's like I have to run everything by my husband. It's just.
Okay. Okay. So let me ask you this: is that more of like a? Well, first off, when you go talk to your husband, what's usually like the first thing that like typically comes up during these type of situations?
hey babe, you know how I've been struggling with my weight. Uh, I kind of found this thing that I think will I'll be able to lose the weight I want. Right. I kind of want your thoughts on it before I proceed. So it's not really like I'm not really like asking for permission, but it's like I'm gonna weigh my husband's opinion before I make a decision. You know,
Mm,
just that's just he does the same thing with me, where he's not gonna put any finances forward on anything without talking to me first and like kind of letting me share my opinion.
okay. So let's say, right, you go talk to your husband and he doesn't like it. He doesn't want you to do it. Are we kind of like done here? Is that it, or what would happen then?
I wouldn't necessarily say done because, like I said, it's not really asking for permission, but I do respect my husband's opinion, right? Because he is my husband, right?
Yeah.
So I would kind of try to understand where he's coming from and see if he has a point. I was just trying to hear him out on why he's uh, he's against it.
Yeah, I completely get that. And so, what if he is against it? I mean, all those things that you said earlier, like, because at the beginning of the call, right, you said, you weren't comfortable with yourself, you weren't comfortable in your own skin. It's affecting, your relationship, your work, your family, all those things. So, I mean, let's say you do go talk to your husband, he just doesn't support any of that and doesn't want you to do this. Like, you and I, like, are we completely done here? Like, that's it. If he says no, we're not moving forward. Like, we're kind of done, or
Again, it depends on why. It's not as black as white. It's like, hey, my husband says no, so I can't move forward. It's like I have to understand why he's saying no, and if
okay,
if, if it makes sense on why, then yeah, we're kind of done. But if it doesn't make sense, then it's like I kind of I have to tell him like, hey, I understand your stand-up point of view, but I believe in
mm-hmm.
this product, which I do, but I'm still gonna have that conversation with my husband and just like understand. That's really what it is. Because like I said, it's not like it's a dictatorship where I tell him what to do or he tells me what to do. It's just we communicate with each other.
Right, out of like respect. So not like a permission thing. Out of like a forgiveness, I guess.
Out of respect, yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So can I offer to share a perspective with you?
100%.
Okay. So I definitely understand, like, at the end of the day, having the support from your husband, like, starting a new journey, like, going through all these things, like, that's definitely something that's, like, you know, definitely important while going through a new journey, right? You don't want to be by yourself, especially someone you're married to, right? But at the end of the day, who's realistically putting in all the work to lose the weight? Who's putting in all the work for you to feel better? Who's putting in all the work to get all these smaller changes done? So that way, your light at the end of the tunnel is way brighter compared to if you were to just do nothing.
It
Is
would
it
be it would
you
be
or is it him?
it would be me.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Do you think it's kind of fair to put that responsibility on his shoulders now?
No, it wouldn't be fair, but like I said, it's not like I'm putting the responsibility on his shoulders. At the end of the day, it's my decision, right? And I
Right.
even said like even if he objects, I would ask him why he objects and see if he has a point because it's ultimately about understanding each other,
Right. So
not about
at
asking
the
for
end of the day,
permission.
you just said it's your decision,
Yeah,
right? Okay. So at the end of the day, if you're the final decision maker here, right? Like you just said, at the end of the day, it's your decision, right?
yeah.
It's not like we're out here buying like a Louis Vuitton purse, like we're going on a shopping spree. Like you know what I mean? Like we're not here like buying something unvaluable, right? But at the end of the day, if you're the decision maker, like you just told me now, right? That's what you said, right? Or
Yeah.
am I wrong? Did I hear that wrong?
No, you're right.
Okay, so at the end of the day, if you are the decision maker, what necessarily would be the thing that's maybe throwing you off now? Like, is it like a value thing? Is it from the investment side of things? Like, what's kind of throwing you off if at the end of the day, this is ultimately your decision?
Can I put a pause right here?
Go ahead.
I gave you an open door, right? So the objection is based off of trying to.
I've never had that objection before, by the way.
I know, because I remember you guys say that you disqualify people that have a spousal objection. So I gave you objection that you.
The objection I do get is when they bring up the husband is because the finances, not because of just trying to get their point of view.
Yeah. So how you would tackle that is like you would just ask, hey, what would your husband object to?
Oh, super easy.
That because you're circling back and trying to turn it into like a value based thing. It's like I didn't have a problem with the value itself. I was good. I just need to talk to my husband and explain everything. And I try to package it to where it could be like a very big hint. It's like it's not a permission based thing. It's just an open conversation to understand his opinion and see. And if he does say no, it's not like everything is just turned off, right? It's just like I have to understand why he's saying no. And then that's the open door for you. It's like, well, okay, well, nobody knows your husband more than you do. What do you think he would say no to?
I've never had that one before.
I tried to come up with an objection. You did really good, but I tried to come up with an objection that I knew that.
Was you were just like, why? Like, just why? Like, his just why?
Yeah. Because
I was like, she's going into cook mode right here.
oh no, she was cooking. She was cooking. I just want to give her a little some.
She had to warm up a little bit. We got no showed and
I've been closing to answer your question. I've been closing for like what, 3 months ultimately, because I did stop closing for like a month with you when we were down really bad because I like needed to get dialed in.
I had to take all the
I was
calls
gonna
back.
guess like
a
2 years.
close rate.
Allie, you're a fucking killer.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
She closes better than I do.
She probably closes better than I do. I just gave her an objection she hasn't fucking handled before, which was like I was literally gonna guess 2 years.
I'm a very emotional based closer.
Yeah, which is
like I'm a little bit pressured, but to an extent. Like if you're gonna keep giving me the same objection that doesn't make sense based off of my discovery, I'm gonna pressure you to a point.
Yeah.
And they're gonna get closed or burned.
Yeah. It's really good to be an emotional based closer. It's because
oh my god, it's so much easier because it makes like this is the problem we're having. We have on the sales side of things is make our pitch smaller because I pre-handle and I logically close them first and then I emotionally close them first.
Yeah. And plus at the end of the day, there's this misconception that people are either logical or emotion, but everybody's just an emotional person. It's just some people just use logic to try to cover up their emotions.
Yeah,
but everybody's emotional.
Yeah.
Everybody's emotional.
It's literally the easiest way to close. It's like the easiest thing that I ever learned.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot from Johnny Mao, and I learned a lot from Andreas Contreras. But like I first got into this. Have you ever heard of Mike Barron?
I have not heard of Mike Barron.
But yeah, that's like what started this whole journey for me like 8 months ago. So.
Because Johnny Mao, I see that boy on Instagram. He cooks.
Oh my gosh, he was what turned me into an emotional closer.
Because, like, I can tell when somebody's better at sales as me. That man.
That man cooks.
He cooks.
It's because he's a emotional, mental closer. That's why. All psychological.
And you could, I could tell. Okay, there's such things as closer eyes. You look into Johnny Mao's eyes, and they're just dead.
Locked in.
They're just dead, and that's to a regular person, it's like, oh. But to somebody that understands sales, you kind of have to have a flat frame of reference, and then you have to chameleon yourself into your prospect. So it always starts out with you just being flat and non-existent. and then you change your frame to match your prospect.
Prospect.
But that when a regular person just sees that, is like, oh yeah, he has dead eyes, and he does. He has just straight dead eyes. I'm like, yeah, he's a killer closer. But where we left off is that we out of the 39 calls that you take, about 15 to 18 of them don't buy for some reason, whether they're unqualified or for another reason, right? Out of those 15 to 18, how many would you say it's because of the financial reason?
Like 85-90% of them.
Okay, so it's safe to say like all of them at that point.
Pretty much most, yeah.
It's always finances. Like if they can't commit to change, they're like retarded. But
Yeah, that's like just very, very small amount of them can't commit to change. The rest, it's always finances.
I cook them so much to where if they tell me they can't commit to change, they look retarded.
Yeah. And you said your lowest price point when you're financing is what, 120, 140?
120.
If they go through a firm or Klarna, it's like 120. Now if they're going through us on a monthly basis, our lowest is $200 a month.
Okay. Are there people that literally say they can't afford $120?
Yeah.
Just a flat one-time fee.
No, we always put monthly.
No, because that's what I'm saying. Like if we can offer the low ticket course as a flat one-time fee of $120, right? Based on this month's numbers, that's an extra $2,060, which isn't crazy amounts, but it recuperates some losses from the business.
It covers ad spend for sure.
There we go.
Ad spend, yeah.
Because that's what I wouldn't try to make big boy like crazy money off of like with the offer structure. I would just use the low ticket community as a way to recoup, like just get some money back in.
Yeah.
Right. So if
and then they're on the juice too.
Yeah.
For future, if they do have a financial shift, they're on the juice.
Yeah. And let me ask you this: if you offered like that as just like, hey, $120 gets you this. It's 10 hours, right? Do you think that's something that some of these people would take?
Some of them would.
You don't even have to make anything else.
Yeah, it's just the same existing product already.
And then on top of that, we can literally give them the meal plan that we give for free, which they don't know we give for free, and we can give the 2-week training plan that we give for free, but they don't know we give for free.
And then once
you can get like $150 because now they're getting that too.
Yeah, and then you can just retarget them.
Yeah.
So it's just a way, like, to keep people
in the funnel.
Yeah, in your ecosystem. So, add the question. Wait, where's this at? Okay, here we go. Oh wow. Add the question of what was the question again? How much they're willing to invest?
Yeah, how much they can.
Invest. Funnel. Bad responses to low ticket course. Priced. 120. So after that, you would want to start the process of organic acquisition. So nerd out on organic acquisition. I hope that's what that. Yeah. Which means find competitors. Really fun comp. Find outlier. Find outliers. Copy outliers.
outliers means like a lot of attention drawn to that one reel, right?
It's a video that outperforms. Like I'll show you using
I
my
remember.
content.
Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah,
I just
like
had made a jog.
this is so clearly an outlier, and so
Like
is
your 100K video and then like your 22K video.
yeah
Like that. K1 would be an outlier.
yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Test find winners.
And then trial them.
Winners, turn them into repeatable templates. Turn them into repeatable templates. Then we would actually start posting on YouTube more first. That's actually before this. More input YouTube link to Instagram bio to Insta bio acquisition. Then we're going to start. What's it called? What was this called again? Telling the story. Telling the story of content. YouTube. Call to action. I think that's it. Am I missing anything here?
I'm so excited about that type form. Like I'm ready.
Oh yeah, Typeform is so great. Oh.
And then like the funneling them into like not just having to throw money away.
Yeah, because you can even connect Typeform to like a lot of CRMs and landing pages. You can integrate it to Zapier. It's so great. It's so great. It's so great. I almost forgot. You asked something about what was it? Credit. Start asking. I don't think that's a step that I would put on here. Start asking people about credit through DMs.
I think just having the investment question, getting them passing that idea onto them that this does cost money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like figure out how that money is gonna come out can be on the call.
Yeah. And I think that's it. Let me share this with you guys. Give me 1 second. So, stop.
This was so fire. This really was.
Whoa, don't. Whoa. Hold up.
I know we're gonna save that for the.
I was gonna say, hold up.
Don't worry, we're gonna give you a fire testimonial.
Save that for the fire testimonial. Because
We're not
I
gonna tell you
needed.
to fuck off like you said. Don't worry. I think we got enough value to like. Waste plenty of value. We'll say it again. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Thank you. Because I need, at the stage where, like I said, in my business, biggest bottleneck is credibility. Because, yeah, I can give as much value. And, yeah, you can kind of get a sense that I kind of know what I'm talking about. But until you hop on the phone with me, you just don't understand. Like, no, I actually do this. What was I doing again? I was looking at our DMs so I can get our emails. Oh, let's show this to you. And then show this to Ali as well. I can't wait till I hire like clippers so people could just like start clipping these and then like that's another thing that I'm just gonna go crazy on. I need to stop sharing my business ideas with people. I don't. I need to stop.
Is it like expensive to hire them?
It's okay. Have you experimented with clippers before?
Never one before.
Let me tell you how great this is, right? So you kind of like you put a pool of money, right? So let's say, hey, $15,000 just goes to the clipping army, right? And then like you say, hey, you get this amount of money per views you get. Right? You see how incentivizing that is for people to just get you views?
It's per views.
Yes.
Okay.
But here's the dangerous part. You can't you don't you know you're relinquishing a portion of the narrative that you're able to tell. Cause you don't know what these clippers are how they're gonna mash up your stuff. This is actually what happened. Um, to, this is what happened to Iman Gotzi, right? I don't know if you guys know who that is. Somebody's big in the info space. He hired clippers, right? Then he got more views and his audience grew. Yes, but clippers were like making clips that didn't go along with what he wanted his brand to stand for. So then he fired all of his clippers and it hired an internal clipping team, and he trained those people on his exact branding, right? So you can either hire an external clipping agency, or you can hire and train an internal clipping agency, clipping team. Of course, internally it's going to be way more expensive, but that's just a caveat there. Let me send that to you guys. Can you guys confirm that you both of y'all received this?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. At this point, this is where I try to sell you guys. Because most of your traffic comes from cold acquisition, I don't think that would be fair for me to do. Because I'm ultimately an organic acquisition guy. And plus I'm a growth operator. So what that pretty much means is that I build out the backend system. You guys already have a solid backend system. You're just having trouble with organic or like attracting people into that system. So my role in your situation, it doesn't make sense for a pitch to go here. Like the most I would be able to do for you is just consult you on a on your front end content. That's the most I would be able to do for you because I'm not gonna run your ads, right? And I'm not gonna be able to do what my main offer is, which is growth operating for you guys. So this is typically where the pitch would go, but it just in our situation here, it doesn't make sense if I'm being honest, right? Now, is this a Lionel you can fuck off call, or was this is a call worth a testimonial?
This is 100% worth a testimonial.
Okay. You guys.
Oh, this is it right here.
Oh, we're doing this now.
We'd like to do it on live.
Okay.
Does cussing matter?
No, I don't
I
want to.
figured you cuss on your page. So.
I do a lot because I try to be as natural as possible.
Well, I think that Lionel, you gave us two options. You said by the end of the call, we'd either say fuck you or we give you testimonial. So I say if people don't do this, they're fucking stupid. Not fuck you, but if you don't do this, you're fucking stupid. This man will help you scale your business, identify bottlenecks, and literally get into the nitty-gritty with you and dive into your situation and explore your business, ask the right questions to find the missing pieces to get you to scale. This is the man.
How much value would you say you got off of just one call with me? You can,
I mean,
please be honest. Please be honest, because that's the core
more
here.
value than I've ever gotten from any mentor.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
I like that, because I get that a lot,
Dead serious.
and that puts such a smile on my face, because that's my goal. I told you guys, and that's why I want to record this, because I want this process to be live. This is a whole YouTube video. I start off the call, I tell you guys, hey, my goal here is to provide so much value to where you're compelled to just give me a nice little testimony. And if I don't meet those standards, please just tell me to fuck off. So, I am so happy that I was able to live up to that standard. Do you guys have any questions for me before we hop on?
No, I respect you for like being honest and like knowing that you can't help in the way you know how to.
I mean, like, that's. I could try to like spin some stuff, but it's like, you know.
But like, that's gonna take you really far because not a lot of people have that.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, because I know plenty of people that would sell anybody with a pulse.
I do too.
And I've been in that situation before, and it's not good. So.
Yeah, me too.
Trust me, like I want to sell you guys so bad. I want to so bad, but it's like I said, literally the only value I would be able to provide is just helping you with your front end content. That's it. Like.
Well, I would tell you this: I'll be sending every single person that you probably can help.
Yeah, every 1% you talk to, they know 300 people that need your services.
You're right. Should I set up a affiliate network? Oh, that's just another bottle. That's just another
10% commission.
Okay. So I watch a lot of Alex Hormozy, and he says actually just give all your affiliates all the money on the first. So if you're like, so here's the thing. This is a strategy, right? If you're okay, let me go into my business, right? So my business is like front end, like initial deal. It's like upfront pay and then a rev share, right? That's the business model because I handle just so much shit, right? How I would run an affiliate play is I would just give the affiliate the whole entire front end because I'm gonna make so much money off the back end that I don't give a shit. Like the front end is literally just to pull revenue forward because it might take like a month or let's not say a month. Realistically, if we're doing a fresh launch and everything's set up, we want to launch within the month. Plus, sometimes it might need just a little bit more time, and it might take a month or two, right? I don't want to onboard somebody and not get money for like 2 months, right? So that's why upfront fee is just to pull, but that's getting into the nitty gritty. So affiliate play, I would literally just give them the whole entire upfront fee. Oh my, but I gotta slow down. This is my problem. It's like I am so just like nerdy. It's like I know and I want to do everything, and my difficulty is not figuring out what to do. It's telling myself, Lionel, you can't fucking do everything at the same time. Relax. That's how you ultimately get nothing done. So it's like, yeah, I got problems. But it was great being on a call with you guys, man. You guys are amazing people.
You are too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Literally, like, we're going to look back on this call and, like, when the business is 100K plus, we're going to be like, Lionel helped us get where we need to be.
Thank you. This is going on YouTube, so you guys will. Not yet, but yes, essentially. But so I'll send you guys the link once it's posted. I'm literally going to draft, or I'm a force Chat GPT because that's my employee, right? I'm a force Chat GPT to spit out a thumbnail, and then I'm literally uploading this whole entire thing like right now. But course, I got to cut out the part where I had my card information as I was paying for Google. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But yeah, you guys enjoy the rest of your night, man. Thank you guys so much. Of course,
I appreciate you so much.
Of course. Thank you. Bye. Bye.